Guys, let's have a talk. We have a huge problem. Look at the graph. Less than 5% of you are subscribed to my channel. It doesn't take much to make me happy. How about 1 in 5 of you subscribe right now?
I have cancer and my wife has been cheating on me for 6 months. I had a date Saturday that I didn't go on and I'm glad I didn't. Bit of a ramble, but I don't know where to put it, and I want to put this out there. Last year, December 15th, I found out I had stage 2 testicular cancer, which means it had spread to the lymph nodes. At the time I was happily married and was locked into what I thought was going to be a valiant battle against cancer with my wife. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case. Before the cancer, she started streaming on Twitch and met a guy apparently. I won't get into specifics because I'm above it and that isn't the point of this post. 33-year-old cowards who live at home and make fun of terminally ill cancer patients are attractive apparently. I'm not quite sure why after 13 years of being together and 9 years of marriage and a son together, my wife decided to abandon us in the middle of chemotherapy, drain our bank accounts and leave me to take care of our son alone while going through treatment, but that's what happened. She has a mental illness, bipolar with psychosis and schizoaffective disorder that is made worse by THC use, which she was heavily engaged in during my treatment. I'm so tired of making excuses for her SID behavior. For 6 months I suggested counseling. For 6 months I refused to see the signs staring me in the face when she told me she wasn't cheating. My final day of chemotherapy, which was May 15th, I found a parking violation from his car in her wallet. So while I was being injected with literal poison trying to live another day, she was out cheating. She continued to lie and gaslight me all through treatment. She continued to leave for days at a time to see him. She dropped me from our health insurance despite the fact that I need a life-saving surgery called RPLND in order to eradicate the cancer for good. Her apathy towards me turned into pure hostility at my existence. I didn't accept any of this until I stopped being blind to my situation a few weeks ago and pieced everything together through text, call logs from our phone bill, bank account info, and just general unwillingness to accept what was happening right in front of me. She moved out and in with him and lives only a football field away, but I have an order of protection in place to ensure the safety of myself and my son as she refuses to go back onto her meds for her illness and is probably using drugs extensively. She even stole SSI money deemed to our son autism in order to facilitate this move, but I've also reported her already for that and switched the payee to myself to avoid further complication. As you can imagine, finding out about all this, or rather just accepting it, finally threw me for a loop. I decided that if she has been cheating for 6 months, the marriage has effectively been dead for that long and it's alright if I go on a date or two. I downloaded some apps, signed up for some stuff and talked to quite a few lovely gals and even had some dates scheduled, including this past Saturday. At the final hour I decided against it and instead opted to hang out with some old friends my wife had burned when we tried to have an intervention for her. I apologized for everything that happened and was able to mend a bridge I thought was burned forever. I deleted all the apps and suspended or deleted my accounts I had made. It sucks because I met and talked with some really neat gals who may have been right for me. Unfortunately, who I am now is someone who still loves who my wife was, and it wouldn't be fair to anyone looking for a genuine commitment. Oh, and please don't get the wrong idea, I would never take her back. I really can't think of anything more egregious than cheating on a spouse going through chemotherapy, as well as taking away the best shot I have for surviving the ordeal with the best possible chances. My chances of successful surgery are decent, but they would have been better had she not removed me from the insurance and delayed the surgery. Anyhow, I've decided that I'm going to respect the vows I made. Prior to her, and in my teenage years, I had cheated on almost every girl I ever dated. I was a SID dude. When I got married I swore that I would never cheat ever again, and to date, I've held that promise to my wife and more importantly to myself. I think the most important part of a promise is keeping it even when you yourself are the only thing holding accountability to it. She betrayed me at my darkest hour and quite honestly probably gave me PTSD, but I'm going to respect the girl she was, not the evil she has become. More importantly, I have a little boy to raise alone now. I have to give him an example to follow. When he wants to talk about this whole experience, when he's able to process it, I want to be able to look at him man to man and have no regrets about the way I conducted myself. I want to be the person he thinks I am, or as much as I can be. Don't get me wrong. Someday when the divorce is finally filed, decreed, litigated and finalized and she no longer carries my name, I'll think about it. Even then the focus of my time and resources needs to be him for a little while. I know what it's like to feel unwanted by a parent, and unfortunately he does as well. I don't know how to explain to him when he asks why mom doesn't love him and want to talk to him. She's allowed to text and call, but doesn't why things are the way they are. All I can do is be a good example. She won't always carry my name, but he will. I applied for a government job that required a secret clearance about a year ago, before the diagnosis, and found out recently the investigation was adjudicated in my favor, meaning I get to be a federal agent. Ironic that a dream of mine since the age of 12 only happens after the worst adversity of my life, but at least something went right. This has been the most therapeutic thing I've done since I found out. If you've read this far, thank you for reading my story. Edited for formatting.